All right, good morning YouTube. This is Nick with NK Landscaping again as usual. I'm excited. We're back on a really good job. The last project I couldn't film. The clients unfortunately declined any media. That's okay, it happens. So we're on a new one. We're going to be doing a full patio and walkway with some steps and stoops built in. It's going to be awesome. So we're bringing out equipment today. That's all we're going to be doing today. So the excavator went out this morning. Skid steer's going out now. We got to get some Unilock, and the construction trailer is actually going to be coming out. You may notice the yard is looking nice and clean. We reorganized, we cleaned up, moved all the trailers. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It makes this whole backyard just look so much better. So we're going to get out there. I'm not going to film a whole lot until we actually get started on the job tomorrow, but figured I'd get you introduced to what we're doing here. We're going to get right to it. Good morning guys, we're back here for day number 2. Finally the start of the project. We're on like trip number 6 or 7 out here already. So the Unilock we delivered yesterday, and I'll actually show you what we're doing here now. So this concrete from there into here is all getting torn out, and we're going to start a patio here. It's going to curve around to meet into basically here. So this will be a nice big patio section. It'll be level with that door there. We're going to be adding a step, so we'll take off this coping that's existing. It's all kind of cracked, and we're going to put in a new Unilock wall block right there with some bluestone coping on top. Patio will come out. We're going to replace the window well here. It'll wrap around. New stoop here for this door out of Unilock as well, and then this is going to run straight down to that Bilko door down there. There's 2 more window wells that need to get replaced, so it's basically just going to be a walkway section here, more or less for storage. But we need to get started demoing this concrete. We're gonna haul that out of here today. So Kurt's got the jackhammer, and I'm gonna get the machines warmed up, and we'll get this all torn out of here. concrete removal is going pretty good, considering how freaking huge this, look how thick that is. That is a huge piece of concrete. So Kurt's trying to bust it up with the jackhammer, especially in here where it gets so tight. I was able to pull all this stuff out from around the window well. But like, it's well over a foot thick there. That's crazy. And I got it loaded up in the bobcat, loaded into the trailer. I think we're gonna have to make 2 loads. Oh, we're getting to it. So not too bad progress for round number 1. I got this and everything up to there. Kurt is still working on that stoop piece. That thing's like 14, 15 inches thick. He's making good progress on it, but this is a little small. This is only a 70-pound jackhammer. But we got all that cleaned up, so the next load will be this guy, this big chunk, and what's left there. That's probably 4 tons there now. How are you feeling?
A little tired, but it's not the worst. There's no rebar.
There is no rebar.
Mesh.
Yeah.
And no bed rails or any of that other special stuff people like
But
to
it's
throw
like
in.
an Oreo.
Well, it's got, there's a lot of boulders in there. And at one point somebody added like 3-4 inches to the top. This is flipped over right now, but we had to knock off the top layer.
Yeah, there's a lot of concrete. I bet we have 5.5 tons in the trailer right now. I don't know, we'll see when we dispose of it, but we'll come back and get the rest of this after we dump it. Well, guys, we got all the concrete out of here. So you can see I did a really rough excavation. I had some suspicions that there might be more concrete in here, and there was. You can see these 2 big chunks. They were kind of buried in there, so I pulled those out. I did not want to find those later after we had already done the disposal, because now I can get rid of them and never have to see them again. So you can kind of get an idea of the basic shape of this thing. I just dug out to where the concrete was, because I know there's most likely not going to be concrete over there. It can't be 100%, but that's going to be roughly what it looks like. I've never seen, this is a first, I've never seen a, actually I don't think that was under the walkway, but this is a huge cedar stump. I guess it was on the edge. But anyway, that's the last scoop of concrete. That's going to get loaded in the trailer. We'll dispose of that. The last load ended up being 5.6 tons. I'm thinking this one's going to be 4.5. So we'll see what we end up with. All right, so that was 5 tons, making this 10.6 tons total concrete removed. That's pretty good. So Kurt is going to work on getting our grade set up with the laser. I'm going to pluck this stump, and then we're going to get this all dug to grade, and then we got to shoot off to a meeting. So that's pretty good progress for first day of actual work on the site here. So we just found something interesting. Kurt, can you show the good people what we just found? That's saying 19 inches deep. It looks like, so there's that pipe right there. That was, there used to be like a gutter downspout right here that was capped off. And it looks like that's some sort of dry well that is non-functional. So that's going to have to come out. And we're gonna have to fill that in, because that's kind of, as you can see, in the curve of our patio. So that's not gonna work for us. But the dig's going good. I'm able to swing my dirt right over to my side. Can't complain. That's just something. That's something fun. That's a wrap on day number 2 here on site. So we got this fully excavated out, so the whole thing slopes down towards the excavator here, including this. We're a little deeper down on the end just because this lawn starts to fall off here. We just needed to excavate out all of the organic matter. We're actually going to be building kind of this area up. So the walkway is actually going to be a bit higher over there, but this is all dug out, looking good. So we're going to go home. We're going to come back tomorrow with a load of gravel. We'll start putting that in. So this morning we're going to work on some compaction. We want to get this all compacted, especially that area where I had the stump. So I'm going to be using the jumping jack for that main heavy compaction, then we'll run the plate compactor around. We showed up with a load of stone, so we're going to be getting that in as well. We're just waiting on the change order to get this dry well removed and compacted, and then we're going to run out after we get our first layer of stone in. We're going to get our bluestone coping, because that's really going to be the first thing we're going to work on. We have to build that wall section and get the coping on, then we can work our way out, and then you know, paver base and stoop base. So let's do some compaction. So this main section is compacted with the jumping jack. I like to stay like 4 feet off foundation walls, especially with cinder block foundation like this house is. If it was a poured foundation, that's a different story, but you don't want to blow that wall out with all that compaction force. We got the approval to go ahead and take this thing out, so we're going to excavate and see what's going on here, figure out exactly what's underground, and get it out of here and compacted. So no bathtub. Kurt's disappointed. It was really just some cinder blocks and some brick. There's some ledge stone down there, but you can see it's just a ton of those metal fence posts and some other metal junk. So we're gonna go fill that back in with some cleaner material, compact it in lifts, and make it like it was never there. So we got that all filled in and compacted. I'm actually kind of sitting on the portion of it that was in the patio base. We got that window well installed, so that the top lip of that thing is going to sit 2 inches above the height of the patio. And now I need to dig for the retaining wall that's going to go there. So that's going to be 2 blocks tall, and the top of the retaining wall will meet basically the lower level of that existing stone patio, so we can cap that with bluestone. I got to dig down about 2 feet of trench, just a little bit more, because that's going to be on a different base than the pavers. So I'm going to dig that quick. Then we'll get everything fully compacted in here, and we'll actually get stone in here. So we got 2 more window wells put in. That looks so much better. I like doing window wells. You know, we're doing it here with the patio base, so we have a lot of room to work. We're setting them to an even grade. Like I said, they're all going to be 2 inches above the pavers. It just cleans it up so much more. There was a bunch of grass and nasty crap around these windows before. Now it's just going to be pavers right up against that, cut and trim to that. So that looks so much better. Now it's time to put gravel in. So I got a skid steer bucket there. I'm going to dump the majority of the gravel is actually going to go in the radius area, and it'll start coming down this way. The stoop here is going to be at a different grade, and then the wall over there is going to be at a different grade, so I'm not going to cover that with gravel yet. But I want to get the trailer unloaded so we can run out to the store to pick up our bluestone steppers so we can install the wall over there. So time to move some rock. So we're back with a load of new gravel this morning. We also picked up our bluestone stair treads that are going to go on top there. You can see this is a different gravel from a different, it's the same family of quarries. This is just a different quarry. It's got a bit more blue to it. So we got the laser set up for paver grade. So that's basically just going to carry all the way down there. The stoop grade is a little bit different, but that's easy enough to modify. Once we get this all to grade and compacted, we're going to set the grade for the retaining wall blocks back there because that's a little bit lower. So we're going to get the majority of the gravel in here first and get that all compacted in place. So at least this is covered because we are expecting some rain tonight. So we've got all of the 3/4 in now. There's a big pile down there, so that still needs to come up quite a bit, and then the rest of that is going to be for the stoop construction. Kurt's got the grade rods out. We got that section to grade, so it's like 2 or 3 inches lower, or maybe even 4 inches lower than the paver grade. So we've got 1/4 inch now. We just ran out and grabbed that. We're going to set these screed rods so we can get this wall built. So my time lapse died on you guys, but we did a dry fit of the wall, and we've got a dry fit of the coping going on right here. Man, this pisa looks good. I'm really digging the pisa. But we've got this thermal bluestone right here, 1 inch overhang. So we spaced, these are actually corner blocks. They're not actually the pisa XL blocks. We wanted to use those because they're skinnier. We've got these spaced off of the concrete because we have a 16-inch piece of thermal bluestone, and we needed the face of the block to be 15 inches out. That gives us that 1 inch overhang. So everything's dry, no glue yet. We're just gonna get this all fit up, make sure it looks good. Then we'll pull the coping off, and we'll pull the second course off. So second course gets fully glued, and then the coping is gonna get fully glued. 3 pieces of coping. I believe one of them is gonna need a trim, just a small amount. But man, that looks nice. So the wall is built and the coping and everything is glued. I think that looks fantastic. You can see we've got the screed rails in place. We have 3 total yards or tons of 1/4 inch in the trailer, so we might as well get it spread. We're gonna leave the screed rails in the ground over the weekend. That way if anybody walks on it or whatever, we'll just check them one more time on Monday, and then we can get this all screeded out, at least to the corner of the house, because that means on Monday we can lay some pavers, which would be really, really awesome. And I need to haul the bobcat home this weekend for a project, so let's get some 1/4 inch in the ground, get these all leveled out and waste what's in the trailer, and then we can go home. Because it's hot. It's been, it was 89 yesterday and like 83 today with very high humidity, so it's kind of nasty. But we're gonna get right to it. I started doing this while we were working. We got a little wet. Yeah. That was fun. There was one big there was another one. There was one big lightning crack right by the excavator. So we got our 1/4 inch in and we decided to get out of there. So that was fun. See you on Monday. We're back here this fine Monday. It's still a little wet. It did rain this morning, but it looks like it's gonna turn out to be an okay day. You can see we got our 1/4 inch kind of spread out on Friday. We did what we could with the crazy weather. I think we have enough 1/4 inch here to get this whole radius section put in place. So the way that this is gonna go, this is copthorn here. So this is a nice border stone. This is my favorite border stone. So this is gonna be laid in a sailor course, 2 wide, running around the perimeter. So we're going to start that up against the wall in the back, and the sailor course just means that they're going to be running around the edge. So you got one going this way, then another row offset brick style running that way, so it'll go around. But basically the sailor course is going to go in, and then we will put our beacon hill in. So we'll build out the majority of this open area before we need to get some more 1/4 inch to wrap the corner so we can start on our stoop. But Kurt's getting the laser set up. We'll get all this raked out to grade, start putting down some pavers. So we're getting started on our copthorn soldier or sailor course, sorry. So you can see how that pattern goes. These are my favorite looking bricks. I just love the way these look. This is one of the like top of the line edging bricks. You can hear in the background. Remember what I said about the weather before? I guess I lied. It's not looking so good, but we got our tent, and a lot of this is under the cover of this breezeway here. So we're going to start going on this. We're going to get our cuts made. We got the paver saw out, so we'll roll that in here. But we're basically going to work out of this corner because that allows us to work out in both directions here, and then this side is radiused, so we need something to base that off of. So the easiest way is to put it up against 2 things that are square and work our way out of that corner. So we're making some really good progress here. Everything's looking really good. All the trims around the window well. The double copthorn coping, that's looking really good. Except there's one small problem that Kurt just found out. Now Kurt's the one that designed this patio and he wrote the estimate. So what's the problem we're facing right now?
Well, I didn't check the estimate, because I'm the one that designed it, and, my memory's pretty good. But I design a lot of patios, and to go with either a 2-course or a 3-course border depends on how many bricks you need. We're using 1 pallet, so I must have been thinking about one of the other estimates or jobs or designs, and on this one we actually have enough bricks to go 3. So the estimate says we're going to go 3 courses, but in my head I thought we were doing 2.
So basically, we have to go around and pull all the exterior blocks. We're not going to shift the whole patio, that'd be nuts. But we're going to pull all the exterior blocks and we're going to cut the thickness of 1 more copthorn out of this. So that's fun, but it's a rainy day and I don't think we were going to get any farther with anything else. So might as well just use this to our advantage, get it done right. So I got the paver saw set to cut a copthorn plus a little bit off of each brick, and we're going to see how that goes. Fun times. Good morning, guys. We're back for another day. We got contractor fun time going on around here. They're working all around the house. They got this siding installed today, and we need to start working on our stoop. So the way this stoop is going to go, the stoop actually has to get set at a slightly higher grade than the pavers. So what that means is we're actually going to build our pavers out. So the pavers are going to come out to here. It's 6 feet from the foundation. We're going to shoot our pavers down like 10 feet. And then what we'll do is we'll mark out the dimensions of our stoop. How big was it?
It's going to be like 3.5 by 7.
3.5 by 7 stoop. It's 3-sided. So we'll basically mark out the dimensions of our stoop, mark our blocks, pull them out, trim them, and then we're basically building the stoop within the captivity of the pavers here. So we're about to get the laser set up for slope. We're gonna get all that installed, probably walkway out to like here, and then we'll get that stoop in place. So we're getting there. We have a limited amount of time on site today. My truck is finally ready. It's been at the shop for like well over 2 months. They called today and said it's ready, so we got to go pick that up, just so we can get that. That was an expensive repair. So let's get to work. All right, so you can see we've got walkway down to that window well, and then we cut the curve. Ooh, that's gonna look really nice. Kurt's working on assembling that right now. Oh yeah, we gotta finish that corner. Boy, does that look good. So yeah, not as far as I'd love to have gone, just because we gotta go get the truck in a little bit here, but it worked out perfectly. The bond line that runs right here from our existing patio lined up perfectly to be 3 copthorn away from the house. So we just kind of kept that spacing, but that copthorn is gonna round the corner, stop right about here for the stoop, maybe a little farther. Then it'll be stoop, and then we'll pick back up with the copthorn all the way down to the end and wrapping as a border. So coming along, looking good. We're gonna get this little bit wrapped up around this corner, get packed up, go pick up the truck. I'm really excited for that because I haven't had my truck in a while now, 2 months almost. All right, good morning guys. We got a beautiful day here. No rain, finally. I'm a little tired. I had to bring my wife to the airport this morning at 2 a.m. So I'm running on like 3, maybe 4 hours of sleep. She's flying abroad for her first time, so wish her safe travels. She'll be back by the time this video is live, but anyway, we're back to work here. I'm feeling good. Aside from the sleep thing, I got my truck back. I'm super happy about that, and we're making some progress here. So you can see we've got all of our copthorn installed on the sides here, and we actually just trimmed out the area where the stoop is going to go. So this is a way easier method than laying the stoop on its own and then building around it. We already made the cuts. We don't have to wiggle and jiggle things into place, and this just allows us to set our stoop in place way better. Plus the fact that the grade inside of this little cutout actually has to come up a little bit for the stoop to hit the right height to meet the door there. So we're going to get our screed rods laid in there, get that to height, and then we can start laying our exterior and interior wall blocks and building up from there. We stopped this morning, got some new glue. We're going to try out this Gator brand glue. We used to use Perma Paver Bond, I believe it was called, not Perma. This is Alliance brand Gator XP, so we'll see how that works. But anyway, we're going to get to work installing on this and making some good progress. We hope to have the stoop built today and get to it. Quick little recap on today. I just graded out everything, just hopefully with the better weather that will dry out a little better for us tomorrow. But we have all of the stoop blocks themselves built. So 2 basically 8.5 inch steps. They're pretty steep steps, but we need to come up pretty tall to meet that door. But we don't want to come out any farther, or else you wouldn't have any walkway here. So kind of weird design, but it's what works. We're gonna put the patio or the paver blocks on top of that tomorrow, and then that will wrap up everything on this side of the house, and then it's just this last like 16-foot section to the Bilko doors there. So 3/4 already in place. We don't need any more of that. We're going to pick up just a smidgen more, a 1/4 inch tomorrow, and that'll wrap up the building, and then it'll be all the finish work. So coming along really nicely. I think it's looking really good. So this morning I gotta go get a load of 1/4 inch stone. Kurt's at a networking meeting since Steph is in London. He's taking over for her for the week. So me and Remy are gonna go get some stone this morning. We just need like 1 ton of 1/4 inch to wrap up the rest of the pavers, and Remy's gonna come to the quarry for the first time. Stone acquired, and as usual, Remy loves car rides. and liked the quarry. She was very interested in the man putting the rock in the trailer. She wanted to know why she couldn't be out there digging with him. Alright, let's get back home. Should be meeting up with Kurt pretty much right after I get home, and then we can go over to the job and complete the building steps and stages of this project. Alright guys, I want to apologize for the lack of filming. Between the heat, the humidity, the lack of sleep from stuff traveling and everything, just headache and all that, I've not been filming a whole lot, and the mic died the other day and all that. There's just a lot going on. But everything is constructed aside from perma and poly sand. I think it's looking fantastic. Took a little longer to do the section from there down, just because the two window wells, there's so many cuts and trims around all that. It really takes a lot of time to get all that right, because you have cuts on each side for the sailor course, and then the cuts around each window well, plus the corner there. So there are a lot of trim, but everything's looking really good. We're just about cleaned up for the day. We're gonna go rent a roller compactor. We want to try one out, and the place that we rent our Harley rig has one. So instead of our plate compactor where it just kind of slides along, this has like a rubber roller, so you can roll along. I really want to do that because of this edge. I don't want to push all these blocks out when we compact, so that'll just kind of easily roll over this. But everything's been pressure washed. We got all the mud off of that. I think it looks great. Kurt's just putting some of the extra crap away, or Kurt's just putting some of the extra stuff away with the skid steer, like the extra pallets and some of the garbage. But we'll be back tomorrow to do all the finishing touches and wrap this thing up. Good morning, guys. So we stopped this morning and picked up this little guy. So what's cool about this is it's on wheels. So this allows you to roll on top of the pavers instead of our plate compactor where it wants to push the pavers out. So that should make compacting while we do our poly sand a lot easier and hopefully safer on the blocks. Can you believe one of these things costs like $3,700 for this little tiny guy? That's why we don't have one yet. A million other things I need to buy. But anyway, we're gonna perma all around the edge, poly, get it compacted, and then start cleaning up.